Hey guys, welcome back for another day of the Tie Jam. I am Kristen and I'm here with my friend
Danielle. Hey, what's up, guys?
and today we are going to go over arms and hands and shoulders. So we're going to go ahead and start in sideline today. Go ahead and get your partner ready to go. Go ahead and get sideline position. Would you like your hip propped?
No, I'm good right now.
Cool. We're not going to be on our side too long, so unless your partner unless they need the support for a short period of time, I wouldn't really mess with it for today. But while you're in session or doing a long give, it might be a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and move the pillow forward.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. That way I can come back here. We're just going to kind of warm up the area. So if you guys tuned in with us before, you would have already seen us do some of the moves we're going to be doing today, a little bit of review to show you a different way you can use things, different orders, to kind of show you how you can start to build the session. So I'm starting by just leaning back. You create a little handle with your hands. Lean back. Give some length. What I'm going in for is shoulder cuff today. So I prop her arm up with my left hand. With my right hand, I'll come in and with a loose fist, just kind of warm the area up. Danielle is sensitive to pressure. It doesn't take a lot of pressure for her. So that will vary depending on who you're working with as to, how crazy you go with here or go in here. But generally, this is a pretty sensitive area. People generally don't get much work here. So as we go in and start to work the side body, just be aware that there's probably like a lot going on that just hasn't been addressed before. So just be really kind and loving as you come in with this soft fist.
Kristen is very kind and loving right now.
That's right. So after I feel like I've done enough warm up around the area with the soft fist, I'll come in and support with my right hand and bring my left forearm. I kind of use this area here and just some cross fiber. I go actually along with it. Warm up the area softly.
I'm feeling a lot of movement in my rib cage and it feels amazing.
Great. Do you have some anatomy to show kind of maybe show the rotator cuff anatomy so we can show what we're working with here? And be aware, if your client is wearing a bra with a wire, obviously we don't want to roll over the wire and dig that into your client. Be aware of clothing and what's underneath you. I'll come in and just kind of settle in. I like to lean in and kind of rock back to give some opening, some separation. How's this pressure here?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Awesome.
I can feel my shoulder opening up.
I always encourage my clients, my friends, to foam roll because this area just doesn't get the attention it needs for all the work it does. So after doing a little bit of warm up, back to the refresher. We've done this before, a little twist to just kind of give the body a little opening. After I compress, I like to open and stretch. And you can see I'm too far away, so I'm not able to give, I know you probably don't want a ton of pressure, but I still want to come a little closer. So I'm not reaching. Good pressure there.
Oh, yeah.
So I know that we're working on shoulders and arms, right? So as I'm doing this, I'm opening the pec. Even my hand here on the arm, you could do some myofascial. Take a deep breath in. And with my right foot right below the shoulder blade, just kind of pull back. The right foot is giving support, so the twist is only in the upper spine, the pec, the delt opening. You can continue down the back, opening. There's a lot more you can do. As always, we are showing you a lot of stuff, so I'm going to keep moving. We're going to go ahead and go on our backs now. So I've started to warm up the side body. I've done a little bit of attention for the arm and hand. I'm going to come in, and the same thing here. When you're leaning over the arm, you can control how much pressure. So for Danielle, she wants less pressure, so I stay back. But I'm just kind of rolling as if I'm making snakes in Play-Doh, right?
Feels amazing.
And I just move up and down the arm, just giving a little warm up.
I didn't realize how much tension I had in my left bicep.
And just a reminder on the anatomy for our biceps and triceps. As we're warming, you can check this out here, the area we're going to be warming now, going into. Once I feel like I'm nice and warm, come in with my leg underneath her arm. I'm holding, my left hand is holding her wrist to get it into place. And you could just roll the arm on your leg. So right now, I'm working her tricep. I can use my arm. I can work her bicep and her tricep at the same time. You can even hold it in place. Do some rotations. Be aware of her hand or your partner's hand. You know, your body is still here, so be aware if you are a female of your breast tissue, of your face.
Nobody wants a hand to the face.
No, you don't need it. And as you do these, you know, work with your client, with your receiver, work with their breath. You can even work on the bicep. And this can be really intense. So you shorten.
Feel that. Oh.
And move slow, you know. This is pretty powerful.
Gosh, that's releasing so much in my shoulder and weirdly my elbow too.
So at this point, I like to slide my feet right underneath her shoulder. And if you don't feel like you're right in the spot, you can use the arm to kind of tug and get your feet in the right place. And what I have here is I have my feet are together like this underneath her shoulder, right? And so as you're doing this, be aware you also have a hand right here.
I just feel like my whole shoulder is open with you doing this.
And remember your hands, you have a forearm in your hand, so you can do a little bit of compression, a little squeezing. I like to slide down, slide my feet out, and right here underneath the same place that we were warming up when we were sideline, and that's why I started sideline, was to kind of soften here, because if you move in too quickly, it's very shocking, intense. You know, it's just hard to receive. So you want to warm things up before we go. You want to go general to specific. So now we're coming a little more specific. Can you see, I'm trying to show my toes. You see my toes right here underneath her arm, right below the armpit. And I probably need to be a little lighter because I was kind of pressing. You're good?
Oh, yeah.
Or you could just wave your toes, right? And so for someone that wants a little less pressure, or maybe to start, just kind of wave them. You're softening the body. Once I've softened a little bit, I might find a area with some dense tissue. Might find that and kind of like open. Is that okay pressure-wise?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Shoulder joint.
All right. So also last time, this is something you might see that we did, but I'm kind of changing up a little bit. Last time we came in and we worked the hips. Here I'm showing you how we're using the top foot to kind of keep her body into place as I'm doing some compressions to her hip, and I'm also working on her hand. So you can come in, you can do a little jostle with your left foot, right? At the same time, do a little myofascial release to the arm. Not everyone likes the dragging without lubrication or oil. So of course, everything you do, the client's not into that, I would skip, but you could always come in and instead of doing that, just work the hand. If you're tired with that left foot, you can just do some compressions as you're working the hand. Be very mindful as you're coming through the thumb. There's a pressure point in here that can be pretty intense. Also, most people are pretty tight in here. So I like to come through and I'm kind of underneath the hand. I'm stripping with my pointer finger and my index finger. They are stripping on the bottom. My thumb is working the top. You can always come in and whatever it is that you feel your client needs, you can sit here and work the hand, work the arm, work the, as I'm sitting here doing the compressions, the jostling with the left foot, I'm working the spine, all the muscles alongside, there's just so many things that are being affected right now. So then I might come in, do a little compression. So when we're doing compressions with the foot to the arm, you use your heel, keep your heel on the floor, and use your foot as if you're pushing on the gas.
This is really good.
So while I'm sitting here giving a compression to her forearm, I can always come down with a hand to her shoulder, giving length to her pecs. But I have two hands. I can use both of them, give some compressions to the bicep. And as I'm doing this, I'm watching her hand, and I see that her hand is getting a little pale. Do you feel any tingles? Okay. It's not too bad then. So I'm going to go ahead and slowly let off her hand. You'll see that her hand's a little pale. So I'm going to slowly let off. You'll see the color start to come back. She'll feel the warmth. All right, now come in for another compression. And sometimes it's nice to go ahead and give your receiver some open hands. But do be aware, I'm on the edge of a crack, so I want to make sure that I'm stable before doing this. Now I'm going to come into her wrist, just above her wrist, and her forearm. Being aware that the muscles are thinner near the wrist. So this takes a lot of balance. Some of you, this might be too much. If you're unable to, you can always use your hand to keep her hand open. You can always bend over and work her hand. Oh, sorry, that was a little rough. My thing is that when I'm receiving this, it gets a little uncomfortable having your hand all crunched up. So that's why I like to give the finger support. I'm actually going to come up and go back in. How is that there? You can even have them make a fist. Open wide. That's the hard part, is the open and wide. Wave side to side. If someone's got some major stuff going on in their wrists, I mean, in their arms, this is just like the bee's knees. So good. You can see your hand starting to get a little pale again. And relax. I'm going to slowly let off. We didn't start right at 7, so I'm going to just finish with a little myofascial release. So I want to kind of finish off with giving a little myofascial to the top of her arm. So whenever you go in for myofascial, obviously there's no lotion, there's no oil. I start right near the elbow, right above it, and I hook in. And when you're doing this in a session or in casually, this moves really, really slow. We're not going to quite move at snail's speed. This is very boring to watch, right? But if you have anything going on in your forearms, this is insane.
It feels amazing.
You can even type like you're typing a keyboard. Do some active release techniques. And just remember, this muscle that we are tracing down attaches in the hand, so I always like to follow through. All right, let's go to the other side. Sometimes I like to give a little length before I leave. Then you can even come back and address that hand one more time. Oh, bye-bye hand. Going to the other side. You can get as detailed as you want in the hands. I mean, you could sit here and work each finger. You know, there's plenty of people that need tons of hand work. So please get creative. For now, we move on.
I'm going to go blow my nose real quick, okay?
Sounds good. All right, so we will go to the other side. You know, the way you build your session just depends on you and how you want it to flow. Since I already have Danielle on her back, I'm going to come over to this other side and work this arm before putting her into sideline, and we'll see how she does with that. Since in the first part I used sideline in order to warm up the area, we'll see how she handles this pressure with me going straight into her, laying on her back, going into all those muscles in her side body. So again, I'm going to come and make some snakes.
These are the best snakes.
Best snakes. Moving up and down the arm, leaning in, using your body weight. Kind of feeling around where the tension is lying. Nice cup to her shoulder. Once again, being aware of bra straps. Sometimes bra straps might have metal in them, so just be aware to not press anything that might be uncomfortable into your receiver's skin.
Texas, you might have a gun in there.
And when I do this, sometimes I will walk all the way down. It's kind of a cruddy spot. There you go. I'll walk all the way down the arm. Just giving some compressions.
You can feel how you're spreading everything apart. It feels amazing.
Good. I'm gonna go ahead and push this pillow to the other side. Perfect. So here's where I'll come in and I'll warm up tricep, bicep. This one more mad than the other one?
Mm-hmm. It likes what you're doing.
So right now I'm just kind of leaning in with the flat part, you know, right above my elbow. There's no elbow being used, just forearm. Danielle would jump off the mat if I was using elbow right now. And as I'm doing this, I'm working the tricep against my leg. I'm working the bicep with my forearm. Then you can come in and shorten, kind of find a good spot. You find a good spot and rotate. Once again, don't hit yourself in the face.
Oh, so good. And you can feel how you're pulling this way, rotating the other way.
I almost popped myself in the face.
After all those warnings.
Right? Even a seasoned pro can pop themselves in the face, so don't worry. Your client may actually enjoy it.
Yeah. My arm loves you. So.
Right? All right, guys, so we're gonna go back in and I'm gonna grab the forearm with my hands right above the elbow. And you know, like I said last time, it's nice to give a little compressions to the forearm. Use the arm to lift up and put your feet underneath the scapula. And we'll go in and we'll warm these muscles up. You might need to move your bottom back a little bit.
Feels so good. Feel all that movement in my shoulder girdle.
All right, guys, then we slide down once again, coming in. And I always make sure that when I'm coming in that I'm not pinching. It's really easy to come in when you're coming in here or even coming in with your toes to pinch, and that does not feel good. So be aware to kind of lift up your client or receiver's arm before getting going. Pressure's okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I did warm Danielle up a little bit because I knew that she's a little sensitive to pressure and I didn't want to just jump in. So she's been a little warmed up. But again, just to control the pressure here, you can just go side to side. You can more dig in if your receiver can handle that. No, we'll keep it light on the toes. And once again, you can kind of find a good spot with some tension.
Aries. Oh. Feels so good.
We'll come in, move your right foot down to the hip, and then here's where we need to be careful to not pinch, kind of lift up, right? So now her arm is supported. You can see I'm falling off the mat backwards. If that does happen, you can always ask your receiver to move, but I'm not going to ask you to. Or you can give yourself a little mat. So I used one of the blankets to give myself just a little extra room. But typically your receiver will not care to just bump over a little bit. I'm trying to show you different ways that we can adapt to different situations. So again, I'm going to come in and like jostle. Just because we're working the arms and hands does not mean we can't warm up the hips a little bit. You could do some myofascial to the arm. You can even sit here and do some different movements to kind of work the arms.
So good.
Being aware that your person's pressure sensitive as I'm being crazy. Basically, I'm pinning the muscle with my thumb as I'm rotating with my hand, a pin and stretch technique. I'm gonna come in. You can even do a little pin.
Oh, yeah.
As I do this, just remember the fingertips. Straighten them out a little bit. You can even sit here and do a rotation. Also remembering that you have a hand right next to your body, so be aware as to where you put things.
That's so good.
Like just kind of pull on the thumb. As my left hand is slowly tracing down her forearm. So as I'm working this thumb, I'm grabbing it and I'm working all this pad, right? So you pull, you can like, it's milking, you're like milking the hand. But don't forget you've got your feet kicking over here. It's like driving a standard or driving a motorcycle. There's like all these different things going on at once, but it's fantastic. We check out the anatomy of the hand. I don't know if I've put that up quite yet, but you can see there's a lot of different muscles in our hands. Not the little guys. Most massages, you ask them for hand and arm work, they breeze over it pretty quickly. So it's nice that doing Thai massage, we can really take some time, work all the different areas at the same time. You can trace between each finger. Oh, I need to hurry up. All right. Once again, stepping on the gas. Got your heel in place. Keep an eye on the hand. Checking in with my client, my receiver. She's doing some active movement as I have my compression in. Once again, as we get towards the hand, the muscles get thinner, maybe more tender. So be aware as you apply pressure. Oh, come on. Using your left hand to keep the hand open. I brought my right foot into the middle of the forearm. It was an area where I found a lot of tissue that was like dense. So I kind of wanted to settle there and just give a nice long compression. See about getting that to release. And slowly coming out. And we'll go into sideline to complete. And once again, perfect. My receiver moved the pillow up for me.
You got Trina.
Yeah. So there's many ways you can pull. As I've shown before, you can cup your hands, pull back on the shoulder. I had my left hand supporting her elbow, my right hand pulling at the shoulder. Just do what feels natural. Just trying to give a little length. I'm going to come in with a loose fist. Right hand supporting her arm. Be aware to not hit your client in the face with their own hand, because that's not nice.
That costs extra too.
Unless they deserve it, then pop, pop. No, just kidding. And same thing, once you feel like it's been warmed up properly, you can come in with a soft forearm. Go back and forth, warming up the tissue. A little much? Better there? You're welcome. And then you can come in after the tissue is nice and warm, after you've sit here and spent a little time warming everything up. You can come in and do some detail work where you find some dense tissue. And just kind of settle there. Take a deep breath in. Open it up. Right? There's many things we can do to kind of go in here and do some detail.
And even as a pressure sissy, you're doing amazing at finding all of those little spots that are not hurting.
Oh, great. I lean in and I'm opening this area up, trying to give some separation here. I'll come in, depending on what's going on with your receiver, you can come in and kind of go more towards the back. You can come up here more in the shoulder cuff. And after you've done all your detail work, come back and give your receiver a little stretch. Remembering that we haven't done a lot of work to the back, to the hips, so just be very gentle. I like to kind of warm up. Just gentle pulls. I'm opening the pec. I love myofascial, so I always throw it in. Just kind of opening. Bringing the left foot in right underneath the scapula. Deep breath. And deep breath in. And the same as last, I like to kind of come in and finish, giving a little length to her neck, giving more attention to the hand and arm. There's another time where you could come in and do a little more detail work to the hand if that's what you wanted to do. For us, this is about right on time. I might have thrown a little bit too much in to really kind of give you guys time to try it, but hey, let us know what you think about it. At this, you liked it?
I loved it. That was awesome. I have arms again.
So at this time, we are going to take a quick bathroom break. We're going to switch places. See you in just a second.